What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone, and welcome back to what the hell is Giuntoli talking about? Because Giuntoli spoke, and he said something I actually killed Allegri for ages, and the previous board for saying things you should be saying if you're in charge, or if you're in charge basically of Juve. Can, like, despite the situation, despite the difficulties, all those things, certain things you cannot say, and one of those things is top four finish would be fantastic. That's a fantastic achievement. That's our goal. These things you cannot say publicly. I'm sorry, never. Then also he talked about the transfer window, and he said some weird things as well. Where he basically said that we need to wait and be patient in the transfer market. Well, we cannot be patient. Motta has 11 or 12 first team players and a bunch of kids. You cannot be patient. You need to do your work now, and January the 1st, the first week of January, those deals need to be done. No patient, nothing, because that's the situation, and Giuntoli's in trouble if he doesn't do that, because Motta will be in even more trouble if he does not achieve what he should be achieving. So that's what we're going to talk about. Before we do that, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, as always, and let's talk about whatever Giuntoli is talking about at this moment in time. Okay, so like I said, Giuntoli spoke. He spoke at the presentation of last season team. The awards for last season, best players in Serie A, blah blah blah, like that basically. And he got asked about the situation and the injuries and how Motta's doing so far and all those things, basically saying that it's a new project. He said this is a unique year marked by like a lot of injuries, basically. The coach is doing an excellent job, and we're fighting to stay near the top. We're pleased with how things are progressing, though these absences, these injuries are basically costing us right now. And then he went on. I thought he was finished, and then he went on saying, but top four is a stated goal, and if you reach that, that will be fantastic. You cannot say that. If you believe, like if you're a fan, fine. If you're at the top of the club, nobody, like I personally, being a Juve fan, I never want to hear the coach, the players, whatever. Remember last season when we were talking and Allegri was saying that this is like top four, and you have Chesney and other players coming out saying, no, this is Juve, we need to push, we need to win, we need to try to win. Like, at least fake the appearance right now, because top four, like, despite everybody's opinion on Juve, and mine included, that this moment it's not good, it's 6 points off the top. You're not 20 points off the top. You're not. And this is not about talking about winning the title. A top four finish is not a fantastic achievement. Despite the injuries, the players are coming back. It's not a fantastic achievement, because you are in a battle with Fiorentina, Lazio, Milan, if you want to include that. Like, I'm sorry, that's not fantastic if you finish above these teams. These teams are not good. Squad wise, like talent wise, whatever, they're not fantastic. So finishing in that, basically, it's not a fantastic achievement. Again, I will say that's Juve. It's default. You spend a ton of money, almost 200 million. Yes, injuries, I get it. And right now, that's my point. I said, despite everything, I'm calm, because I've seen a lot of good things. There's one bad thing, and that's evident right now. And it's not going to be fixed with all the players coming back. However, the individual stuff, I think, will improve if players get more of a rest, if we have other options, if it's not the same thing over and over again. But to say that top four isn't a fantastic achievement, I'm sorry. I personally will never accept that as a Juve fan, because that's ridiculous. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. You're battling a Lazio team who spent, I don't know, maybe 100 million over the last 10 years and pushing it. Like, I'm Fiorentina, like you should be finishing above these teams. Excuse me. Or the mix of these, like, it's not an achievement, it's not anything fantastic. That's why when we get these bad results right now and a lot of draws, I still say that despite everything, it's a decent job right now, with one big flaw or two big flaws. The medical staff is rubbish. Like, it's absolutely ass. Like, let's be completely honest. Gonzalez was called up for the national team. declined it because it was almost back. That was a month ago. Like no, like there's no communication. What the hell happened with Nico Gonzalez? Excuse me, not Douglas. What happened with Nico Gonzalez? What the hell happened with Douglas Luiz, Savona? Nothing. Precaution. Just a rest. 2 weeks out. McKennie, same thing. Like it's ridiculous. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. That needs to be fixed. You know, that is an issue. That's more of an issue. But like I said, coming out and saying that top four is a fantastic finish, no, not at Juve. If you want to do that at your time at Napoli, fine. I don't care. If you want to do that, if you're at Milan, I don't care. Or at Inter, and even there, I'm like, you cannot say these things. But being at Juve, you cannot say these things ever, especially not at the start of December, being only 6 points off the top of the league. Knowing that everything is so close right now, to say that top four is a fantastic finish, I'm sorry, it's because nobody asked him basically what is like is top four like top four. I said it last season. Top four is not a goal; it's default. Period. If you don't make it, you're in trouble. Your job should be in jeopardy if you do not make top four. Like that's just box standard default. So not having that, that's a weird statement, and I don't like that. Not from the players, not from the coach, not from anyone. I will never like that. We can be honest, and they can know behind closed doors and say, yeah, man, if we get top four, that's actually good considering things. But it's the 1st of December or whatever, the first week of December. You haven't lost in the league. You drew a lot of games. That's an issue. You're only 6 points off Napoli, who didn't beat you at home as well, and actually looked horrible at our stadium. So did we, by the way. And you say that? That's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy. I will not have that. But let's move on to the other part, and that's the transfer window, because he touched on that as well. And he said something that was quite interesting, or two things he said that's quite interesting. One was Danilo, and the other one was Milik. First, with Danilo, he said that he's our captain right now, which he's basically not, you know, like he's not. Like everybody's the captain in this team. He said, and we're holding on to him tightly. We haven't spoken with Danilo or with Napoli. Our goal is to keep all our players and bring in a defender. That's a lie, you know, because if an offer comes in for certain players, they will be moved on. Like that's period. Now at the back, I can see them keeping Danilo because otherwise you need to bring in 2 defenders, and it's already tough to bring in 1. I've seen names of Christensen and all these players where I'm like, oh boy, you know, don't waste money. So I can see them keeping Danilo until the end of the season, but not to play him as a center back because, well, he's not good as a center back. If he comes out and he says, I want to move, I think the club will help him to get that move. You know, if you still can get some money out of it, they will do that. Knowing this club right now, in the situation we're in, they will take the money and they will move on Danilo, in my opinion, you know. So that's that part. But the thing that got to me was the Milik one, because I've seen a lot of things on social media saying that Milik will be a new signing basically. That's not really what he said. You know, he said that they're keeping an eye on Milik's progress closely, which is funny because I'm assuming actually they're not doing a good job at keeping a close eye on the injured players because it's not improving. But he also said, we believe that Milik fits in the idea of Thiago Motta, in the idea what Thiago Motta basically wants to do, say, in his style of play. He said, if another setback occurs, we will be ready to act in the market. And then he topped it off by saying that basically January is a tricky period of time, you know, and he said it's nobody actually reveals their hand basically, and he said we'll need to strike at the right moment, you know. Striking at the right moment, let's make this clear, is the 1st of January. There is no right moment. If the right moment for Giuntoli is penny pinching to wait until the end of January, screw you. Like that's all I have to say. If he gets a player that we could have signed at the 1st of January, but he gets him at the end of January, I will have serious doubts about him. Because you're looking at Thiago Motta, he has 12 players, all injuries. He's working with kids basically, or no, like he traveled to Aston Villa with, I don't know, like with a handful of players basically on the bench. Like it's insane to come out and say we need to strike at the right moment. The right moment is January. I know what's going to happen. I already have a bad feeling on what's going to happen in January. and then you get them in late. They need to come into the team, and then boom, it's March, it's April, and then it's like, what the hell was the point of bringing in these players? Like, difficult situation, I get it. You need to do a lot in January, and you were not prepared to do that, or like you never thought you needed to do that, you know, because of the injuries. But you had enough time to prep for January. Do not come out, waste time on players you're gonna get even at the end, or waste time on players you were never gonna get. These things need to be set basically in stone the first week of January, because we have the Super Cup, Copa, which I don't care about at this stage, and then you have a bit of a rest. Basically, these players need to come in. You need to get your deals done back then. With Milik is, if there are no setbacks, how are you gonna know? How are you gonna know? Because there are no until he's back. There's maybe one game or two games between that, the Super Copa, and the season starts off again. I think it's January 11th or something. There is no game, so he's not gonna play before the Super Copa. You don't know what the setbacks are gonna be. Milik will have setbacks by playing, injured again, muscle thing. He's gonna have he's an injury-prone player. Like to say that he fits Motta's system, cool, but he's an injury-prone player. You cannot put your hopes on Milik. If you're hoping that he's gonna stay fit from now until the end of the season, that's crazy. Look at his record. Look at his injury record. That's just not gonna happen. Just to say that if there are no setbacks, if you have an opportunity to bring in another striker, you do that. If you can move on Milik, even better, because you're gonna move out Milik in the summer anyway. If you can do that now, you do that, because he's injury prone and it's impossible for him to stay fit, especially after being out for so long. I know what's gonna happen. There will be setbacks, but you're not gonna be in time to act on these setbacks. So Giuntoli, be careful, because what's coming now is on you. Like the season is not lost. Like, it's not a lost season. You can still fix it. I think we have 4 home games. I think, is it Bologna at home, Fiorentina at home? I thought we have 4 home games. City at home and somebody else. Like, the season is not lost. Things can still be fixed, but it's gonna be on Giuntoli, big part, and then also Motta is gonna need to do his own thing, you know. But that's it. Let me know in the comments what you think, what we should do in the summer. What do you in January, excuse me. And what do you think about Motta's Giuntoli's comments about, you know, top 4 finish would be amazing. Even if you believe that it would be amazing, saying that out loud, first week of December with only 6 points off Napoli. I would say only because we drew a lot of games. So it feels like it's more than 6 points because we drew so many games, but it's only 6 points. That's what I was trying to say. Do you think it's okay to say that? Because I will never agree with any coach or whatever manager, player playing for Juve saying that, you know. But let me know in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you guys later tonight, probably with a live show. Ciao.